Within the current canon, while he was able to achieve a tremendous amount of success, most notably of course, the destruction of the Republican Jedi and achieving the Sith Grand Plan, the early years of the Imperial era saw Darth Sidious frustrated with one important element connected to the future of the Galactic Empire. His apprentice Darth Vader and Tarkin had not developed a true appreciation for each other's talents. Even 5 years after Order 66, Sidious saw that a significant rift existed between Vader and Tarkin, one that had its origins during the Clone War and the events that had occurred between Anakin Skywalker and Tarkin. In fact, as we've seen within the 2017 Darth Vader comic series, Sidious had to expressly protect Tarkin from Vader's wrath, demonstrating how important Tarkin was for Sidious, but also the potential threat that existed from Vader. However, over the years of the Imperial era, there was a gradual appreciation of Tarkin's abilities by Vader, a result of Sidious directly intervening to build an understanding between them after deciding it was long past time that they worked out their differences, which is seen within the Tarkin novel. Sidious would demonstrate to Vader that Tarkin was someone who was exceptionally unique and had passed trials Vader might have thought were exclusively within the realm of Sith and Jedi. Sidious was speaking of trials Tarkin passed early in his life upon his homeworld, trials that from Sidious's perspective helped transform him into a military mastermind. This would be the catalyst for Vader beginning to see the importance of Tarkin's history, and additionally, his importance to the Empire. This recognition by Vader that began within the Tarkin novel is then expanded further within the 2017 Darth Vader comic series, where we see Vader ask Tarkin to repay a debt that was owed to him. Understanding the skills Tarkin acquired through his trials on his homeworld, Vader requested that Tarkin hunt him, a request that shocked Tarkin. The issue focused on Tarkin, so we unfortunately didn't get to see Vader's thoughts on this event directly within the issue. But as we'll see, this was an important and instructive moment for Vader that was provided to him by Tarkin, which I think we can say represents in some ways Vader discovering what Sidious always wanted him to, which was the talent and importance of Tarkin, where Vader even acknowledged that Tarkin helped him personally. These additional aspects found within the current canon are seen within issue number 8 of the current Star Wars comic series. Following the Battle of Hoth and the events that took place on Cloud City seen within episode 5, Vader went directly to Coruscant to inform Sidious about the remnants of the Rebel fleet. After Vader expressed his belief that their fleet scattered into small cells and would then rendezvous again at some point in the future, Sidious was adamant. The Rebel Alliance was to be located and destroyed immediately, as the Emperor believed it was then when they were at their weakest and most disorganized. After Vader questioned if that was what Sidious's command was for him, we then see an interesting statement made by Sidious that not only Tarkin, but Thrawn too would have been perfect for the task of destroying the rebellion after Hoth, but both were gone. This point about Thrawn is interesting, and I'd like to do a video discussing some aspects about Thrawn's potential story following the events of the Rebels TV series in the near future. But nonetheless, with Tarkin and Thrawn gone, Sidious believed Vader would have to be the one to locate and destroy the rebellion, even though the Emperor didn't want to delay Vader's search for Luke Skywalker. However, we then see Vader recognize a potential solution where that outcome didn't necessarily have to be relied upon, telling the Emperor there was another. The issue then goes to the Outer Rim world of Kessel, where we see Imperial Commander Zara get an unexpected transmission from Darth Vader himself. Appearing before Vader, the Sith Lord asked if it was true that she had been Tarkin's protege, and that before his death on the Death Star, she worked closely with Tarkin, having received personal instruction from him regarding his methods, strategies, and tactics, all of which was confirmed as true. I'm going to do a video discussing how Tarkin became the mentor of Commander Zara, including an explanation of why Vader found a note in her file from Tarkin indicating that she was to be given non-essential duties until further notice. But the importance for our current video is this. When Vader and the Emperor needed someone to locate and destroy the rebellion after episode 5, a task that was seen as being perfect for Thrawn and Tarkin, Vader turned to Tarkin's protege. Knowing she would have received instruction in Tarkin's methods, he trusted that that was enough to give the Imperial Commander such an important task. Commander Zara has shown that Vader's intuition was correct within the previous issues of the series through her successes against the rebellion, but Vader understanding the potential of the Imperial Commander, which was being completely underutilized at the time on Kessel, clearly demonstrate how Vader recognized Tarkin's importance and abilities as Sidious wanted him to in the early years of the Empire. But there's another important aspect that's revealed within the same conversation. After Commander Zara explained how she failed Tarkin on a particular mission, she also clarified that she believed that the outcome of her having to be given non-essential duties until further notice was only intended by Tarkin to provide a lesson to her. The commander was confident that had Tarkin survived the Battle of Yavin, she would have been provided with another chance to prove herself. Interestingly, Vader didn't disagree and confidently concluded that that sounded like something Tarkin would have done. Even more, and importantly for our video here, Vader revealed that Tarkin had also once taught him something as well, a lesson he found instructive. It's a great reveal, and provides some insight from Vader's perspective on the events seen within the 2017 Darth Vader comic issue mentioned previously, where Vader requested that Tarkin hunt him. And looking at Tarkin's perspective, I think we know what the important lesson was and why Vader found it so instructive. As Tarkin explained, there was something that Vader wished to learn or understand through these events, which lasted days and resulted in the death of numerous individuals as they attempted to defeat Vader. And Tarkin had his theories, which while even he admitted could be wrong, as Vader never told him the meaning behind this event directly, I think the issue demonstrates that Tarkin is likely correct, given what we know about the character, but also based upon the preparation Tarkin undertook to recognize Vader's true intentions. As recognized by Tarkin, Vader was the Emperor's enforcer, but having read reports about the work performed by Vader and the Inquisitors, Tarkin knew they succeeded in eliminating the Jedi who remained after Order 66, resulting in very few, if any, Jedi remaining. Therefore, with no clear indications that there were Jedi who remained for Vader to confront, and therefore potentially no one worth confronting, Tarkin saw that Vader wanted to know if he could still be challenged. And not just challenged, but defeated, even in a galaxy without Jedi. As Tarkin saw it, when he wanted to discover if this was true, Vader turned to Tarkin to prove it. And as seen within this issue of the Darth Vader comic, although lessons were ultimately learned by Tarkin as well, an important lesson was learned by Vader, namely, that he could still be defeated. With Tarkin having reviewed everything he knew and heard about Vader, he considered and rejected numerous strategies for defeating Vader. But in the end, Tarkin found it simple. He would utilize Vader's belief that he could never lose and could not be defeated. In the end, recognizing that Vader only saw his imminent victory and no opportunity in which he could be defeated, Vader was unable to understand that Tarkin had brought Vader into the planet Stormlands, ultimately resulting in Vader being hit by lightning. As Tarkin concluded, he used Vader's overconfidence against him, showing him that even in a galaxy where the Jedi no longer remained, he could still be defeated. Within this issue of the current Star Wars comic series, we see Vader admit that this experience with Tarkin taught him an important lesson, one that he found instructive. It's a great reveal by Vader, as while he might have refused to see that Tarkin had any substantial abilities as Sidious had in the early years of the Empire, he would ultimately place his trust in Tarkin's protege to locate and destroy the rebellion after Episode 5, given her training and instruction in Tarkin's methods. Even more, Vader would admit, years after Tarkin's death during the Battle of Yavin, that Tarkin was able to teach him something as well. An instructive lesson that likely showed that he could still be defeated by someone who wasn't a Jedi. An understanding that would have been important for Vader after the success he and the Inquisitors were able to achieve. In the end, Vader recognized the importance and abilities of Tarkin, and even how he was able to help him personally. So there we have it, how Vader recognized how Tarkin ultimately helped him in the aftermath of Episode 5. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions. Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me, for helpful Thrawn references.